Hello, Warriors. Let's have a good week. I just want to put out an idea and a suggestion for traders to consider and perhaps trade with the intention that should you have a good week, that you consider peeling off a little of those profits in a charitable way. Maybe there's somebody in your family that's struggling. There are lots of great charities out there. You know, they say charity begins at home, but there are lots of good charities out there, and we have to sow seeds. If you believe in karma or you believe in the saying, we reap what we sow, you can't just always go out and reap without planting seeds to develop a crop for you to reap. Because if you're consistently going out there and reaping or attempting to reap a harvest without doing the work of planting seeds, you'll ruin the soil. So something to consider, besides doing something for yourself, do it for others. Even better if you can do it anonymously. Just thought I'd put it out there, and I do that. So here we go. We have that big ISM number. We'll start with the euro here, or the dollar. When I was talking to you Friday, we were knocking on the door, breaking out over 104.20 before the ISM number, and then we had this candle. So here we are back towards this 103.80 level, and I've been talking about 103.80 closes would be a signal. Pure technicians would probably be looking at more like this low. But I still think 103.80 is important for a continuation move in the dollar, because if that happens, I also talked about stops. So there are some stops that could be taken out in the dollar here and the dollar here and for sure here. So people accumulating long positions in the dollar either have their stops here, they've been moving them up, so they will be vulnerable should the market decide, with all the numbers we have this week full of landmines, many economic reports. We have the Fed, and we wrap up the week with the NFP. So my advice is to reduce leverage and trade smaller and not to have big positions into big red numbers and not try to predict how the market will react to these numbers, but react to the reaction. I think a very important event that happened last week happened in the gold and silver miners. And if people recall, I was looking for 30 in Newmont on many videos done on TradeGATEHub. So that's the rally that we had on Friday from here. And I just want to show you the weekly. So a pretty good weekly reversal. The first one down, I don't think you could call this a reversal because there's no wick. It didn't take out the prior low. We diverged above here. So if anything, I think there's somewhat of a bear market rally. Maybe gold trades up towards 21 to 21 and a half. I don't know if we're going to break those new highs. Silver still has resistance at that 23 and a half level or higher. So I still would be cautious with all of these. And Newmont wasn't an isolated example. Here's GDX, which had a nice reversal week as well. And we're gapping up today. I was looking for 24 and a half, and we held the prior low, so that was a pretty good structure. Even B2 Gold, very nice looking reversal week. So even if this isn't it, and I do have return lines lower, you don't go all in on it. And you have a position on. And if you're like me, you're probably saying to yourself, well, I missed it. So let me give you a little bit of some perspective. So I showed you the weekly on, here's Fortuna. Held the prior lows, has a pretty good structure, had an outside week. So are you really late? because only a year ago was trading 7. And here's Endeavor, another one that I told everyone I had a little piece of. That's not acting as well, but it did put in a weekly reversal here. What bothers me about this is they have earnings on the 11th, so not going to add or do anything else before those earnings come out. And just to give you a feel, even, SILJ had a nice reversal week, probably cleaned out stops of people that had their stop under this low, which was 796, and then we went to 780. So people that got long here got stopped out Friday before the turn. So that's my look there. Yields also very significant here. Talked about the 420 level in the 10-year, and here it is. We're up a little bit today. Here's the 10-year back over 420. Okay, let's look at a little something shorter term. Here's a 4-hour. So you basically have a rectangle, and that's why sometimes technicians wait for more than one close beneath an important level to have confirmation, maybe even a weekly close. So we'll see if these were the highs, or we get one more retest up here on maybe some type of hot number. Maybe it'll be employment. So that's another important instrument to watch, as lower yields uh, could be a reason for the dollar sell-off. And higher yields, if we start to head up again, could be the reason for the dollar to hold and rally back above that 104.20 level. If we do that, I think we're talking about over 105. So these are your two levels. It's kind of a rectangle if you look at the action here, but it's a rectangle off a decline. And here is the 10-year yield. It's a rectangle as well, off in advance. So see this rectangle right here. So you have rectangles here and here. And what the 10-year yield correlates to, and I've talked about the potential of these stops also being in jeopardy, and that's the yen that never took out this 50.88 high. And I still think it's viable that we do it, and I'd be looking for shorts if that happened. And I want to talk about the commodity currencies, which are demonstrating relative weakness. You have euro up 13, 14, cable up 30, and then you have Aussie down 9. So it's demonstrating some weakness against the dollar. Could we rally up to 65, 40, or 60 before headed towards 64? And I'm going to remain patient for a move to 64. But it's also demonstrating weakness against the yen for now. As I look at the crosses, I looked at them this morning, coming up here. Okay, so you have the guppy, which I believe are on the verge of making new highs here in the guppy, and the euro, which also is, a layup away from new highs. But look at Aussie against the yen. Its rally has been much weaker. So I would be looking for a spot to sell Aussie yen, perhaps when the yen trades up towards 151. And this used to be a classic risk on, risk off pair for many years. This is risk on, which has happened. And maybe the Aussie yen is giving us an early warning sign for some type of correction in the market. My Apple forecast of a breakdown has manifested in spades. I believe there's some huge fines that they're facing in Europe because of the app and how they dominate the app. Here's Apple. And the lesson was that you don't let the market fool you into giving you multiple opportunities to buy at the same level at major support, that is a bull trap, and the bull trap is being the trap door is open and we're headed lower. I'm looking for 165 to 160 over the next several weeks. We'll see if that happens. And you could join Mike. I think he's going to be doing an update today. And really, with these kind of news events, I'm going to be treading lightly, mainly short term as well, scalping, rather than trying to build a position where the market could flip the other way every day based upon how the market reacts to news and the Fed and the NFP. So reduce your leverage. There's nothing wrong with being a spectator at times rather than a speculator, because I guarantee you after this week, the markets will still be here. And our job is to learn the art of doing nothing and pretend you're a sniper, just like that interview I did with Jack Schwager, and not waste bullets and wait for the time and the setup and not be in the market for entertainment value. So don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I'll see everyone tomorrow with Mike. Good hunting. And I'll see you in the room. We have a lot of people coming into the room sharing their work now. Mike and Alexis provide a lot of great content. Mike is giving you call sweeps all day to take advantage of where the wise guys are, what kind of bets they're placing. And to TradeGATEHub, I've gotten some great responses on LinkedIn and elsewhere that a lot of people are coming there to learn how to trade. And a lot of people are coming there because they like the camaraderie of a community. 1 + 1 = 11. And I'll see you in the room and I'll see you tomorrow. Good hunting, everyone.